to where the palmar crease is. And then because the hand isn't square, you go off at a slight angle. Now all this stuff can be done while it's dry, so you've got all the time in the world, so there's no need to panic, no need to get flustered or anything else, but in effect, that's what you're left with. So, you can see my knuckle line, so that's where the palmar crease is, and that's where the tip. Two bits of that. Halfway, slight curve, and then the patient will have their arm up. This is if we're going to arm wrestle me in this particular. You sight the bit that you've teased out at the base, you make sure you can just about see the tip of the thumb. You wrap that in and tuck that in, and then tuck that round. So it's two collared scarves. Now this one, you've got slightly more angle. So if you look on the back of it, it'll look like it's crisscross. And this one, you go in about the same width, tease a hole. Don't want it too big and obviously not too small. Make sure it can go over, and as you can see, it pulls everything lovely into place. Make sure that follows the line of the palmar crease. The bandage itself wants to go that way now because it's going at an angle. Because it's coming up around the back of the thumb, it wants to come up. So I've seen loads of people try to do that and it ends upward. And when they double over, it'll crease it all up. So go with it, even though this stuff is quite compliant. Then you can make sure. Then I do the fold technique, one either end. And it's only a thing I've developed over the years, but some people pull it and go through. It doesn't really matter, either which way, it does exactly the same job. I just prefer to tease that off. Imagine that be continuum. And you'll see almost instantly the difference. And then you run that fold, you roll your hand over, that fold will go away to nothing, but that will run across the line of there, so you've got automatically 2 layers of padding running around where the knuckles are. And then it wants to drop down again, then you persuade it down slightly and a 50% overlap. Get to the end, don't forget, I've done 50% all there, but then that there's just one layer, so always go once more round the bottom. Tease it off, stick.
Turn that over. Just
dip it in like that, this piece will crinkle up. You can dip it in like that, but I tend to hold one either end. You dip it in, wait for the bubbles to stop, lift it out. Gentle squeeze and shake the drips. If you wring it, it'll dry out before you even get it to the patient. You then got a few minutes or a few moments to position it on the patient.
That's really warm, I didn't expect it to be
Well,
warm.
the water's quite warm, so obviously they want to do, or whoever filled up the bucket wanted to tease me.
That was me, but
Yeah.
apologies
No,
about that.
don't be silly. I'm used to, in fact, I prefer warm water. You get a nice squidgier thing. Now at this moment, I can see that it's positioned correctly because I can see all your knuckles. Now you can do this post bandage. You don't have to do it right this very moment. But what you must do is obviously in sufficient time. So gently by picking up the hand, and you can gently persuade it into the position that you want it to. And the first layer is actually sticking to the plaster of Paris, so you don't need much pressure. But the second layer, because you can't compress what's already been compressed, you can put a tiny bit of, I'm not reaming it, I'm just firming it up to make sure you get all the air pockets out. Now, because I've been going relatively slow, it might not be brilliant in a minute. Now, you don't necessarily need to use all of it because you've only got a short one, so you can always cut the end off. Now the patch, always put the patch on or on top of the layer that's underneath. Don't put it on the soft patch underneath, because you do it on a soft patch underneath, you then complete the cast. Make sure you, and then you can, if you want to, make sure that it's all, try to make it as conformable as possible. Make sure it curls round that way.
Alan's